Hello friends, welcome back to MDCZ. Today we will discuss the detailed story of Jack Kirby's Eternals Comics issue 11, The Russians Are Coming. Before we start this episode, if you are new to MDCZ, then please hit the subscribe button and also press the bell icon so you will receive all the latest updates of our next videos. Now, without wasting your time, let's start this video. In our last episode, we knew that Zurus has activated the Unify machine and called all the Eternals. Everyone heard that call and started joining Zurus in Olympia. Zurus was calling them so they can start their ritual, which is called as Unimind. I'll explain the details in the next episode where we'll understand the Unimind process. People didn't understand why Zurus called them. They didn't see any trouble around them. Eternals started gathering together and started discussing about it. Also, they had mixed reactions to seeing a human alongside with them. Margot was thrilled. Icarus asked Margot that is she nervous? Margot said yes. Macri tried to calm her down and said that she is welcomed here, always. Icarus said that for centuries, Eternals were living alongside humans and now is the time that they welcome humans in Olympia. Margot was a bit uncomfortable being there. She was thrilled by seeing Eternals popping in from nowhere. Icarus said that popping in is one of the Eternals' power, just like levitation. Suddenly a light started to form, which means someone is coming. Macri realizes who is coming. A man joined the fellow Eternals. Macri said it must be Kingo Sunen, the samurai. After seeing Margot with Icarus and Macri, Kingo started to tease them in a fun way. Margot looks puzzled. Macri asked her about it. Margot said that she has seen him before. She is none other than a famous Japanese movie star. Icarus clears Margot's doubt and he said Kingo loves to play a role of samurai. Macri told Margot that Kingo city is on the mountain on an island known as Hokkaido. Suddenly, someone started shouting for Icarus, Margot and Macri. Cersei appeared with Professor Holden. She said it will be beneficial for Holden to witness the Unimind ritual for her sake. Holden looks thrilled by the journey. Margot asks Cersei why she didn't inform Holden before popping in. It must be a laugh for you, right? It looks like Margot doesn't like Cersei that much, or maybe she was worried about Holden. Cersei wanted to see a surprised look on Holden's face. Holden also said that it was a good experience for him to travel miles within a just blink of an eye. Icarus said that it's difficult for humans to understand Eternals' ways. He asked them to join the human ritual because Zurus is waiting. Margot started pulling Icarus' leg. She asked Icarus about his family and why are they not here. Icarus said that everyone heard the call so they won't fail Zurus. Margot was not aware of Icarus' family. Cersei said that Icarus is best within this family. Icarus said Polar Eternals don't breed gentle Eternals. They produce strong-minded people. In short, Icarus was praising his family, but suddenly Cersei refers them as a bully balls. Officers were discussing the photographs related to the space gods in a war room of Kremlin, which is in Russia. Comrade General said that those photographs are compelling. Comrade Security said that it's incredible. One of the officers said that these photographs are authentic, yet he finds it unbelievable. Others said that the giant is in the less populated part of Siberia to stop him before. Others said destruction isn't the only way to every problem. That giant is from outer space. The scientists will decide what action to take regarding this. One of the officers named Greshko seems not happy about the Volcanin said. Another officer told Combat General that Volcanin has a point because the giant was not causing any damage. He was just walking around. Greshko said it's still on our area, our soil. Volcanin told Greshko that we are dealing with an alien from another world. Greshko said that his companions must know that we are not gonna fall in line with them. We are not tolerate them. Greshko ordered to prepare an attack on their space gods and he asked to activate the large screen to watch it live. Others said this is not the way. A huge space god appeared on the last screen. His name is Nizar. Officers got stunned by seeing him. They called Volcanin fool that he thinks they can solve it by talking. After seeing Nizar, others started to believe Greshko. Comrade General was thinking about reporting these images to the government, but Greshko was in so hurry. He asked not to waste time. Volkanin said that the bombs are already prepared and this is the way of Greshko to solve every problem. Volkanin was not happy with Greshko's decision. Greshko got angry. He said curiosity isn't going to help us but power can. We should use power. Volkanin said against what? Greshko wouldn't even be given a thought about it. Greshko started arguing with Volkanin. He said he already thought about it and they must act as a nation of power. Volkanin said it's also dangerous. He asked to reconsider this about communication. Secretary of the government came and said that's not possible now. He handed over full authority in General Greshko's hand. Greshko said that then a decision has been made. They're gonna attack. Suddenly, Volkanin said that he is no longer needed here and there is also a necessary appointment. Volkanin left the war room. Officer informed Volkanin that his mates are waiting for him in the next room. Volkanin asked him to call his pilot and tell him to stand by for takeoff. The two officers joined Volkanin for departure. One of them told Volkanin that it looks like he lost one of his medals. Volkanin replied and said that what he lost there is a significant consequences. They take off. Some moments later, the helicopter vanishes and headed towards the Olympia. One of them said that humans are fooled and said they can only see the problem in their way. Volkanin says we can't escape from this problem. He believes that they are going to face the same issue in Olympia also. All of them decided to get rid of the illusion and get back into their original form. They changed their appearance and got back into their main eternal form. Volkanin, whose original name was Volkin, said that it feels good to be an eternal rather than a high rank in a human military machine. He thought Druk would disagree with him. Druk said that to be a son of Volkin is an honor, but he also feels great for being major. Agina told Druk that he loves to train assassins more than anything. Volkin told Agina that they serve Russians to discourage false atomic confrontations. He said he never brags about his skills ever. Agina said that they still are useful in Olympia. Volkin asked Zakin to transport the craft so they can join Unimind. Within a moment, they reached Olympia. Other Eternals were meditating in Olympia and these guys decided to interrupt their meditation. They started flying their craft in between those Eternals. Now we can understand why Cersei called them as a bully boys. After their arrival, Agina and Zakin acted rudely in front of the other Eternals. One of them stood against Agina. Agina came and punched him. After that, they started fighting with each other. Agina and Zakin started punching the other group. Volkin and Druk were calmly watching the fight. Volkin asked Druk that why is so calm in this such tense moment. Druk said that he ignores the tension and only plays when very most needed. Volkin said he neglected Druk and involves him in the humans to mold his character. Volkin told Druk that he was influenced by the worst of the human side. Druk told his father, Volkin, that if you want to see a hero, he must see in his way. It seems like the relation between Volkin and his son Druk is not that good. On the other hand, Agina was hitting someone. Suddenly one of them others are about to hit Agina with a punch. But before he can hit Agina, Ikaris came and punched him from the back. And now Ikaris started attacking those Eternals also. Mago asked Cersei to stop this. Cersei said that they are acting like babies. Now Ikaris was also involved in that fight. Agina told others that Ikaris can easily bend their skulls if they want. Suddenly someone attacked all of the combatants with one blast. They fell apart from each other. It was Volkin. The attack was so strong that everyone bowed down to Volkin. Druk found it a wise decision. Volkin said it's not a time for all of this. It's time to make hard decisions. Volkin asked Ikaris to stand up. Ikaris seems happy after seeing his uncle Volkin. Other Eternals who were fighting started discussing Ikaris and his brothers. They feel fighting with Ikaris is better than fighting with Druk. They find Druk worst. Volkin told them that Unimind awaits us. They said that Unimind shall be their guide. Ikaris asked Volkin that Unimind would help to give the power to deal with space gods. Volkin agreed to Ikaris. He said yes. He said they are ready, but this planet is not there alone. Humans are also part of it and they'll also face the challenge of Celestials without proper understandings. In Russia, the military has loaded a large missile in this silo. Officers warned others to take cover because the countdown is about to begin. General Greshko was informed that they are on target and the impact will be made in 5 minutes. Greshko was impatient. He ordered to begin the countdown. They started the countdown. The missile was fired towards Nizar. Greshko was continuously looking on the screen to see the results of this attack. That missile is about to hit Nizar, but yet he doesn't seem threatened or by this. He stood calmly there. Nizar feels bad by seeing humans' actions. Humans failed their judgment of life. Nizar's sadness converted into some kind of energy. Bomb reached Nizar, but because of that energy, that bomb took a U-turn and turned towards its firing position. After seeing this, everyone from the war room got frightened. They were scared. As they saw this missile comes closer, they feel unbearable fear. They feel like they are about to die. But there's a twist. It's all a simple illusion. This is the power of the Space Force. Actually, the missile was never lifted and still waiting to be triggered. But Greshko and his mates don't know about that. Because of this, they went into cardiac arrest. And here, our story of the 11th issue ends. Now don't miss the next episode because it's exciting. Finally, we are about to learn Unimind. If you didn't subscribe to MDCZ, then hit the subscribe button and also press the bell icon. You'll receive our next video's notifications within time. If you love this episode, then please don't forget to like and share this video and also mention your questions in the comment section below. I'll reply them as soon as possible. Don't forget to subscribe. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, go enjoy your life, but be safe.